Alright, so today I'm going to be tying this simplified pheasant tail nymph with a Chartreuse collar, and I'm actually not going to be using a pheasant tail feather. I'm going to be using this turkey feather, and I believe this is from a female turkey, and this is from towards the tail, probably the second layer of the tail when it comes to what's the furthest back. But all you need for this is some copper wire, some ice dub in Chartreuse, and some turkey tail, and then the hook is size 10, and I'm using a 2.7 millimeter bead, and then the thread is black, though you can probably see that right there. I'm starting by putting the bead on the hook, and now I'm going to place the hook in the vise. I want this to be at the right angle because I don't like the bead sliding around. Now I take the thread, and I'm going to begin my thread base just behind the bead, and I want it to stick well, so you can see here it doesn't slide around now. And I'm just going to bring my thread base back to a little bit behind the point of the hook. I'm going to trim the excess, and I do want to tie that down. And now I'm going to take my turkey tail fibers. I'm just going to take a little bit out from here, and this seems like that's a pretty fair amount. Oh, I might want a bit less, so I'm going to take out 1 or 2 fibers, but I think other than that, I have it right where I want it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to tie it. I'm actually going to measure it to around the hook length first, because I want the right proportions. And now I'm going to tie it in. You can see here it's about the length of the hook since I measured it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, really, especially when you're just fishing it and you're not selling it or tying commercially or anything. Now I'm going to take my copper wire, and this is a small sized wire. I think this is like one of the smallest sizes I could find at the fly shop. So you can see here it's real thin. I've already gone ahead and snipped a piece, so I have this right here, and I'm just going to tie it in well because I do oftentimes have problems with this stuff slipping around when I tie it in. I'm just going to tie it to the same point where I tied in the turkey feathers, and now I'm going to use my rotary vise setting to bring the turkey feathers up the shank of the hook. And this is about the point I want them at. And I am going to tie back a bit of that because I want about the length of a bead and a half to have the dubbing on it. That's about the proportions I shoot for, which you can see I have around right there. Now I'm just going to wrap this wire. And the wire doesn't have to be perfect. That's more just for laying it down because it looks good. And it honestly sometimes looks better when it's not perfect, in my opinion. I just trim my wire with a pair of cheap scissors. However, you can helicopter it off, but I think that takes a good bit of time. Or one thing I've seen before that people will do is use nail clippers to clip that, because you don't really have to worry about that getting dull because it's designed to clip harder surfaces. So I can see that as being useful. Now I'm going to take my Chartreuse ice dub, which is made by the Hairline Dubbing Company. And they make some pretty solid dubbing. Ice dub's probably their most widely known dubbing. It's a synthetic, and I like it a lot for tying nymphs and even certain streamers. So now I'm just going to tie that. And then I do want to give it a little bit of a collar like that. And now the fly is pretty much complete. I just have to whip finish it. And then we're there. You can see this is a very simple fly. It does not take much time to tie, but it's highly effective. I love fishing this for panfish and bass, especially this time of year, because they're more active. And also this time of year, you're seeing a lot of rain, and Chartreuse works well in really muddy waters. But yeah, now your fly is complete. You can fish this wherever you'd like. However, I recommend this for trout and panfish mainly. But yeah, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and comment any thoughts on this video. Thank you for watching.